So let's start with the rpg7. Here we have our rpg7, and I just set up here a pretty easy scenario that we are supposed to take out that Leopard A6, I guess, yeah. And in order to do that, we probably need a little explanation about the optics. So let's get to my table, and I just made a screenshot of this scenario, and I can explain to you how the optics work and what do you have to do with it to hit your target accurately. So here is your target. What you have what is it? This is an analog computer. That's what it basically is. And this is a slide rule which will help you to determine the distance. How does it help you? It's like you see, it is calibrated. It is calibrated for 2.4 meters here, and for 2.4 meters in the optics, you can always guesstimate the distance. If the 2.4 meters falls in between these two points, it's 600 meters, it's 400 meters. You basically, you get the idea. 2.4 meters. Why? Because this is what the most Western battle tanks, which is pretty big. They are pretty big, are much bigger than the Russian ones, and 2.4 meters is for the Leopard and the Abrams. So you see, it's probably 2.4 meters high, and it hits the our slide rule around here, which would be like 330 something whatever meters. Why is it important? Because you have to compensate for the ballistics. It does not have a computer built in, something electronic, whatever. It is just a dumb projectile, and it is subject to the laws of ballistics, and you have to compensate for that. How do you do that? Well, you know that it's 330 meters. What else you have to know? It is the you have to know the velocity of your projectile. For some reason, this game depicts the rpg7 velocity at 100 meters per second, which is not true. It's 100. Well, it is 100 meters per second for the first 10 meters. Then the main engine kicks in, and it accelerates to 300 whatever meter. But for some reason, this game is not accurate, because it keeps all the way. It calculates with 100 meters per second all the way through its flight path. It's not true, but anyway, we have to calculate with that. So that comes handy when compensating for the lead angle. But now we're compensating for the ballistics with that it's 300 meters. Well, why it is important that it's 330 meters? Well, it's one is because of the lead angle, but the most important first is the ballistics. You see, there are scales in all the numbers, and it's not difficult. You just have to be understand what these are. These are the ballistic scale. This is the first scale, this one. A ballistic scale for the lightest projectiles. It's this one basically is 50 meters. It doesn't matter which projectile you have. This is 50 meters, and from that on, if you have the light ones like the high fragmentation, whatever, high explosive, it is the 200 meters. You have to elevate your RPG about to this level. If you aim here, and you are using light. High explosive, it will get here at 200 meters. It is 300 meters, 400 to 500 meters. You get the idea. But now, today we are shooting with the medium heavy projectile, which the scale is here on the right side. If with these projectiles you shoot at 100 meters, it falls to, you see it at 100 meters you aim here. For 150 meters you aim here, and for 300 meters you aim here. So what we get here, it's 330 something meters. So we need to aim somewhere here, you see. But that's how we compensate for the ballistics. But we aim here if the target does not move, but our targets move. So we have to also compensate for the lead angle. How we do that? Well, we compensate for lead angle with little calculation. If it is 330 meters away and our projectile flies with 100 meters per second, it's 3.5 second basically, 3.5 second until it reaches the target. So you have to give it a lead angle. First you have to measure how much your target horizontally moves in 3.5 seconds, and you have to give it that angle. These are mils, 10 mils, 20 mils, 30 mils, and I will show you how do you compensate for that? Well, you are in your optics and you see that our target moves, so when it speeds up, you will just have to hold your optics steady, and when it reaches the 5, 1, 2, 3.5, you see it went to the 2. So that means in 3 seconds, in 3.5 seconds, our target will cover 70 mils. You see, 70 mils. So we just discussed that compensating for the ballistics, you have to aim here. But if you also want compensating for this, you have to aim 70 mils here, which would be like about, that is 60, and that is 70, and a little bit down. So you will have to aim for about this point if you want to hit a moving target at 300 meters. In reality, it is not that bad, because the rpg7 rocket flies with 300 meters per second, so it will reach its target for about 1.5 seconds, about 1/3 of that. So in reality, it would be something like here. Just for your information. Anyway, let's try it in practice. You will have to aim here for this moving target, compensating both for the ballistics and the lead angle. So here we are. So we compensate first for the ballistics. You see, a little bit lower than the 300, and you give it like 70 and fire. Hit. So now you have to lay down because the return fire is coming. Anyway, so you get the idea. How do you use this piece of equipment? Next one is the NLAW. Well, that's how it works. Let's see into the optics. It does not have any complicated whatever, because it is not complicated. Because the first claim, what they misleading feature or claim what they have about it, that it locks. No, it does not lock. It does not really detect the target, so you have to optically aim for the target, just as with the RPG. The great advantage with this weapon is that you don't really have to compensate for anything. You don't have to compensate first for the ballistics, because it keeps a straight trajectory. It does not. It just compensates for the ballistics by itself. The built-in computer and the control surface of the rocket, which will keep the rocket on the same level throughout all its flight. So basically, at any distance, whatever you will, it will hit that point. Theoretically. And how do you compensate for the lead angle? Well, that is also a computer thing. But lead angle, you compensate for following the target with up to 2 to 3 seconds, and out of the rotational angle, the built-in computer will calculate the necessary lead angle for each distance, and it will fly according to that flight path. So it does not know anything about the target, where it is or how far it is. It is just presumes that, and it will just calculate the optimal flight path for that speed throughout its entire flight path. So how it does work in the reality. So first you have to select the direct attack or overflight top attack. Let's see, direct attack, and you are starting to follow your target and push the follow button, and for 3 seconds you follow it and fire. Bomb, and there you go. You hit it, and the return fire comes. So that's how the NLAW works. So what do we have here at the end? Well, we have the rpg7, which is $1,000 piece of equipment, and we have the NLAW, which is 30,000 euros. I don't know how much. Let's say $30,000 anyway. It is just a horrendous difference. And you have to decide for yourself if this horrendous difference is really justified. Because at the end, what I think the NLAW is nothing else, just a very, very fancy RPG with some additional useful yet, very expensive features, like it can compensate for the ballistics by itself, it can compensate for the lead angle by itself, and it also has some top-down attack. But the armor penetration and everything else it's not really that important. You must understand that with the RPG you get a simple, reliable weapon. You don't even waste the optics, because it is a metal tube with an optic basically, and you have 13 or something different kinds of warheads you can attach to it. With the NLAW you get a very fancy RPG which does all these things what I just explained to you, and you basically need to make your mind up which one do you prefer. We know that the Western narrative of having expensive equipment is about saving human lives and so on and so on. Well, well, that's fine. I'm happy with that, as long as you have all the money on earth to save human lives. Because if you spend all your money on saving human lives, at the end, what you have, no equipment and lots of human lives, and just with bare human lives, you cannot win wars. So I guess if you have, yeah, it is $30,000. It is $1,000. So basically, it'll be 30 pieces of RPG for one piece of NLAW. If you have two men, well, not a question. You buy two NLAWs for $60,000. But if you have 60 men, it's not a question. You buy 60 pieces of this, and you will have much firepower with it. So I think it is at the end. And the end, warfare is about. It's not about these sentimental, whatever, romantic things like saving human lives and whatever. It's not the priority in warfare. Warfare at the end, it is called calculation, and human life is, unfortunately, you like it or not, it is just a resource. And at the end, you will have to decide what do you have as resource, money or human lives, and you have to find the balance in between. So. Is the NLAW better? Yeah, sure. It certainly is better. As it is in the simulation, it performed, I think, better. But how much better? Is this 30 times better? Well, I don't think so. So anyway, you need to make up your mind. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, please like it. Bye.